Hey guys, it's Sonja. Sorry I haven't posted a video in a while. I got kind of busy with the holidays, so I didn't get a chance to upload anything. So I'm back, and this is going to be the first part of my Valentine's card series, so stay tuned for a few more videos as well. So this first one, I'm going to be showing you how to make some simple Valentines. This is part one. I'm going to be using Simon Says Stamp's Foodie Friends stamp set. I think this one's really cute, so I'm going to be using all of the images and the majority of the sentiments only because I didn't realize that some of the sentiments were duplicate to the image. For example, with the pizza, I used the "You've stolen a pizza, my heart," but I didn't realize that there was one that said "I love you to pizzas" until after I stamped the sentiment. Okay, so at first, I'm going to set up all the layouts of how I want the card to be, and then I'm going to go in and stamp the image with Memento Tuxedo black ink. I stamp that like 2 to 3 times just because it doesn't go down perfectly the first time. So this ink is perfect for Copic marker use because it is Copic friendly, and it'll make sure that the ink doesn't bleed when you go in to color it as well. So the second card here, I am using the pop cans. I think it's really cute, and the sentiment that I'm using is "You soda make my heart pop" for the first one, and then on the second one I used the sentiment "You're so delightful." I do love these pop cans because they are kind of vintage looking, and I like that you can see the actual drink on the inside, so that if you wanted to do an orange pop or something else like a cola, then you can tell what kind of drink it is. For these ones, I'm pretty sure I do stick to the regular cola just because the colors with the labels do match Valentine's Day pretty much better. So that would be like reds and pinks and purples and stuff like that. So then after stamping the images on the card front, I do go in with VersaFine Onyx Black pigment ink to stamp the sentiments and the little heart on top of them as well. I do put the little heart just to add the little Valentine's feel, but I do love stamping with the VersaFine ink because it does go down one shot, perfect stamping. The only thing is sometimes I push a little bit too hard, so then the ink kind of smushes a little. But as long as you don't do that, it goes down one time, perfect. You don't need to restamp it. It's great. So I am using the Misty stamping tool for this to make sure that all of my images that I'm using the Memento black ink are stamped in the exact same place. It is really convenient so that I don't have to guess every time I put it down. So the second image that I go in with is these little olives. They're so simple, and the sentiment is "Olive you." It's so sweet, and I love it as well. So the next one is the tomatoes. The sentiment is "I love you from my head to my toes." So it's like tomatoes. Thought it was really funny. So right now, you'll see that I'm cleaning off my stamps with just a baby wipe. That is just to save time as well. I did also speed up the video quite a bit, as you can tell, just because I wanted to save time. It did take a long time to do this, even though it is really easy, and making one of them would be really quick. Making them in such a large quantity takes a while. Also, you'll see later in the video, my camera does cut out and then reopen. That's because I was having some filming issues with storage and lighting and stuff like that, so I did have to take it in a bunch of shots, but it's not a big issue. I figured it all out. Okay, so this next image that I go in with is these hot peppers. The sentiment here is "Hey hot stuff." They're really cute, and I love how these cards are so simple that anyone can make them. They just have 2 of each image in the majority of them, and it's really cute, really simple. Anyone can do it, even kids. If you stamp this down for them, that you can have them color it in for you, or it would be really cute to even do like a watercoloring background over it with just the images. It's really nice as well. I like that you can use the stamp set for anything like birthdays and anniversaries, anything like that. It doesn't have to be only for Valentine's Day. Yeah, a lot of the things are lovey-dovey, but they could be used for other occasions as well. So then this one here, I go in and stamp the typewriter with the Memento Tuxedo black ink again. I do love the typewriter because it is vintage, and it's kind of like writing a love note to someone. It's kind of more special than putting like a laptop where you write an email, or like a text message with a phone. Even a pen and paper would be nice, but I think this is actually a cuter picture. The sentiment on here is "You're not typical, and I love you that way." I think that's really sweet, just because, you know, you're telling someone that they're not just like everyone else, and that's why you love them. And I thought that's really sweet. So I did put 2 hearts with this one, just because I thought that it went better with the image as well. So then the last one I go in with here is the little pop cans. I do believe I end up making these different colors just because I want a different type of pop, but you'll see that later on in the video. So I am stamping down with VersaFine Onyx Black Pigment ink for the sentiment because it is great, but I did use the same sentiment here. I did use the You're So Delightful. Honestly, at first I was like, I forgot that there was the second one, the You So To Make My Heart Pop. But I think it actually worked out better because there are no actual bubbles in this one, and I thought that the bubbles on the pop bottle actually fit with the popping that the sentiment says. So I thought this one worked well. So now I'm going to go into coloring. As you see, I am using a lighter green and then a darker green. The way I like to use Copic markers, I'm not a pro by all means. I'm not even close to some of the people that use them here on YouTube. But so what I like to do is I go in and I color the base with a lighter color, and then I go in with a darker color, and I use a feathering technique just to add some low lights, I would say, or shadows to certain areas, and then I go in again with the light color just to blend it all together. Majority of times I do use only 2 colors just because I do have a limited number of Copic markers. As you can see, I just have that one set up there and then a few extra ones as well. So I do use a lot of red in these videos just because it is Valentine's Day and stuff like that. So I'm going to let you know the 2 colors that I use for that. So I'm using R27 for the lighter color and then R59 for the darker color. So for the pizza, I do the trim, sort of a beigey color, and then I go in with the red and do the sauce and the little pepperonis. I think it's really important for the pepperonis that you do go in with the darker color, just because when you do cook the pizza or when you get pizza, you see that the pepperoni does burn a little bit or get darker on the edges, so I think it makes it look a little bit more authentic and it adds a little bit more dimension to the card. So then I go in with the yellow, and originally I was like, oh, that's a lot of yellow, but then I thought about it and I was like, no, it actually looks really good, especially when I added the second color. I was like, this looks great, and pizza actually does look yellow when you get it. You think it doesn't originally, but it does. So then now that I am done with that coloring, I go on to the typewriters. I did do 2 different colors for this one. So for the first one, I did sort of a tealy blue. I did only use 2 markers just because the blues that I have are limited in shades, so they don't all go very well together. So I do the edges and the keys in a darker shading, and then I do a stripe along the paper just so it looks like it adds dimension as well. So as you see here, my camera did go out and I did have to restart. You'll see that a couple more times, but everything's good. So then the second one, I did sort of a peachy pink. I think this one is a little bit more feminine. You could use the other one either in a masculine or feminine card for a guy or girl. Either one, it's fine. I just thought that it would be nice to have them in different colors just because it's really cute to see an actual typewriter in different colors. It's not very often that you see like a pizza or a tomato in different colors, but typewriters you can. So then I go in and I do the tomatoes, just the simple colors. I do the little stems in the green, and I go with the lighter green. Then I put in some darker shades and then go back over it with the light green. And then I just do the base of the tomato again in red. I do think that this sentiment's one of my favorites. I love you from my head to my toes. It's really sweet. I mentioned it earlier. It's just so funny, and I can't get over it. So once again, my camera went out again, so I'm just going to finish these ones up really quickly here. I think that the stamp set's honestly the sweetest, and it's great. So then the next one, I go in with the olives. I do use green. So my favorite type of olives are the black ones, but I found for the images it probably wouldn't show the face as well if I did it in black or a gray. And this also allowed to have a red center as well to add a little bit of red for the Valentine's Day feel. So then for the soda pops, I do both of them as a cola just because I wanted the colors to match Valentine's Day better. So for the actual drink, I do a lighter brown, and then I go in with a darker brown as well to shade. But for the bottles, what I really like to do is I take a really, really light blue and I just do a stripe down the side just so it does look like the glass is actually real. So for the labels, you'll see later on in a few moments that I do use a red and a pink for them. You can't see, I don't know if you can tell in the video how pink it is, But so I do alternate the labels and the caps. So for one of them in each set, I will do just the surrounding part of the label in the red, and then on the other one, I'll do the cap and the stripe, and then the opposite of that, I will do the dark pink. So it's really dark pink, it's almost red, but it looks really nice and really different in person. So then for these little pop cans, these ones are really sweet to color. I did decide to put in an orange pop just because I thought that it would be cute, and I put in the pink stripe just so that it adds a little bit of Valentine's Day. So I do go in and color the oranges there, and then the rims I do in a gray just because it looks like metal, and then I alternate the stripes on the straws. And for purposes of this video, let's just say that the straws are made of paper and not of plastic because we're all about saving our planet and not ruining our marine life with plastic straws. So yeah, I'm just coloring this one in like a classic Coca-Cola bottle, can, not bottle, and it's just red with the beigey stripe along the middle, and then I am going in with the darker color to do the feathering on this one as well. It's very cool. So then now I'm going to go in with my Wink of Stella glitter brush marker or brush pen, and I think it's honestly, this thing has been the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm glad you can kind of see it in the videos because of the lighting. It does add a little bit of shimmer to your image. That's so simple. It just adds so much to it. It's so sweet, and it doesn't make anything too feminine or anything just because it is very subtle, but it adds so much. It makes it look so much more quality, and it's so easy, so quick to do. You just color over the image. It doesn't bleed, which I find really amazing because I originally thought that it might, but it doesn't. It looks great. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this up here with the soda pop cans, and they all look amazing. They all look so special to me. So finally, I'm going to finish up the cards by putting the card fronts onto the card bases. I'm using 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card bases, and I'm using 110-pound white cardstock that I got in packs at Michael's. As you can see, I'm doing 2 of each image, and some of them have different sentiments, some of them are colored differently. I think they're really sweet. There's a lot of room for creativity here. They're really simple, so quickly done. Anyone can do them. It's amazing here how adorable they turn out without that much effort going into them. So I do 2 of the pizzas, 2 of the hot peppers, 2 olives, 2 of the soda pops, 2 of the soda pop bottles, 2 of the typewriters, and 2 of the tomatoes. So here are images of all the ones that I finished making. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a comment in the comment section of your favorite one, and stay tuned for the next video where I'll be using Simon Says Stamps Breakfast Buddies stamp set. Thank you so much for watching.